Welcome back, everybody. As you probably guessed from the title of the video and me standing here wearing this plate carrier, today we're doing another armor and carrier test. This one here is from the folks over at Phalanx, and it is super lightweight, which is something I always harp on here in terms of armor reviews that we test on the channel. Regardless of what it is, I always push for lighter weight, because if anybody out there has worn plates for a long period of time professionally, you guys know weight really matters, and it starts to suck if you have heavy stuff on real quick. Now this set here is, like I said, uber lightweight, level 3 rated, which is going to stop most of your common rifle calibers. Each plate is 10 by 12, and they are made out of Dyneema. It's super lightweight substance. It's actually buoyant. You can throw it in the water and it'll float. But it weighs in each plate under 3 pounds. On my scale, each plate was 2 pounds and 14 ounces. So, you know, if you think about your typical level 4 setup, let's say, which is going to stop 30-06 AP, most of those plates that are ceramic and composite materials are going to weigh anywhere from 7 to 8 pounds, which is going to put you, of course, 14 to 16 pounds just in terms of plates on your kit. Never mind everything else you're wearing. This is going to cut that number under 6 pounds. That is not insignificant. Again, I know a lot of you guys understand this who have worn it before, but wearing this right now, it feels almost like I'm wearing soft armor, but I'm not. So that certainly is a good thing. Another good thing about this system is that everything you guys are going to see throughout this video, including the carrier and all of the plates, are 100% made in America. In fact, they're all made in Florida for anybody who's interested in that. And what we're going to do first is just check out this plate carrier setup. Then we're going to start shooting the plates and seeing if they live up to that level 3 rating. Getting into the carrier, they do come in a number of different colors. Obviously, this one here is an OD or Ranger Green, depending on whom you ask in terms of color. We have our MOLLE webbing here out on the front. We have our hook and loop here so that we can add patches or anything like that. These are not MOLLE webbed, so some of the competitive options out there on the market will have the actual hook and loop, have the MOLLE attachment points there. It does not have that, so just know that going forward. Good box stitching all the way around. Everything's very strong. There's nothing to, worry about in terms of having your gear rip off or anything like that. It's done well all the way around. Box stitching in the corners as well. And up here, you guys can see this is going to expose our cummerbund by pulling up on this. There is no tab. I do kind of wish there was a tab on there like there is here, but we do have tabs for each part of our cummerbund, which will expose it. At this point, this is how you put it on when you're going to do that. That said, we're going to look at this portion here, which is going to hold our armor plates. It holds 10 by 12 plates. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there. You might be able to get something a little bit larger in there, but that said, they do rate it for 10 by 12 plates. So just know that going forward. You guys can see we have a couple pieces of Velcro going together, which is good. What that's doing is holding the plate up in there. And then additionally, beyond that, we have another piece of fabric here, which is hook and loop taped down, which is holding the plate up. So what that's doing again is keeping the plate in a consistent position, because what you don't want when you're moving with armor is you don't want your armor moving independently of the carrier. It's just not good for balance. It's not good for stability. It's not good for anything really. And additionally, it's just going to put more stress on your shoulders and just wear you out quicker. So that is good. So to take it out, we're just going to move this piece down and pull our armor panel out, which we'll get to here in just a second. But it does have two different places where you could put armor in there, because it has this little dividing piece there. So if you wanted to, for whatever reason, run soft armor in conjunction with hard armor, you can do that. I know some people want to do it. Additionally, I know some folks want to put padded backing for trauma pads or something like that. If you want to do that, feel free to do so. That said, it doesn't come with it. Just know that going forward. But with the plate back in there, when you close it up, these two pieces here come together again, making that nice closed surface. Again, just giving you a little bit of extra protection in terms of the plate not moving around on it, which is what you want. Again, as we mentioned earlier, made in the USA. I could not find it on their site what this is made out of. I would bet though, just from feeling a lot of plate carriers over the year, this is 500 denier Cordura, or the US equivalent thereof. So we do have our cummerbund here on the sides. Of course, you can run your soft armor if you want to on the outside there through that MOLLE webbing, or you can run any type of accessories that you want to run out there, mag pouches, radio pouches, comms stuff. Any of that, feel free. The world is your oyster with these types of setups. That really is kind of one of the benefits of them. The back panel here is set up almost identically to the front, so we have no MOLLE there up top, but MOLLE all the way on the bottom, and the way the plate goes in is exactly the same. Here we have our drag handle. It does have a place rather to Velcro it down, which I do like. It's not going to get in the way, or it's less likely to get in the way, less likely to get snagged on those sorts of, on anything, should you be moving around. And then your grab handle here, drag handle rather, is sewn in to where our shoulder pad comes in, as well as the top portion here of where the two pieces of fabric come together to support that armor plate. So there's multiple reinforced stitching points on all three of these. Continuing on here to our shoulder pads slash adjustable straps, we do have this padding which goes all the way around like this, and of course it's removable, very common type of system here. And then you can adjust your actual height of where your plates are going to ride by adjusting this. And then once you get it adjusted to where you want it, you're just going to put it back, and you can put your padded strap back on there rather. And one thing I do like about this type of setup here, number one, is that it does have these little loops here, so that way if you're running any type of hydration, again, comms through there, it's going to stay in place and you can have less movement, which is nice. It also gives you your molly here, so that way if you want to zip tie any of that stuff down, again, if you move a lot with this stuff, that does become important. And then additionally, we have these little hooks here, so that way you can hook anything on should you choose to do so, or again, you can just use it as another routing point for anything that you want to run through there. So definitely dig setup overall. It's pretty simple. It has good padding on there for your shoulders. And as you can see here as well, I should point this out, they do overlap these two portions here when you're actually wearing it. So that way it just gives you a little bit more protection, less chafing, those sorts of things, particularly if you're wearing like a combat shirt where that interface really does make a difference as opposed to like a BDU type top. We've got all the cameras set up. We got the plate. This plate here is not long for this world. And we're gonna set it downrange at 15 yards on the table. Behind it, we do have a box filled with dirt and clay. Probably weighs at least 40 pounds, so it does have a decent backer in terms of what's actually gonna be hitting it. Now, of course, I am not an NIJ certified lab. However, this is an NIJ certified plate. So you can go with, you know, all the different special rating threats that they do list for this in terms of different rounds and all of those sorts of things, because again, it's NIJ certified. So we're gonna set it downrange. We're gonna shoot it here with just a pistol just to make sure nothing crazy is going on. And then after that, we're gonna up it, start shooting this thing with rifle rounds and see what it can take. First round up is just some Minuteman munitions, 9mm coming out of this 80% gun, and should handle it just fine. Let's check it out. As you saw there during the slow motion, we center punched it a little bit high there, and I can feel a touch of backface deformation with my hand. I'm guessing you guys probably can't see any at all. Again, it should stop 9mm just fine. Let's step it up with some rifle rounds. Next up here, we have some 7.62 by 3.9. This is Red Army standard full metal jacket, steel jacketed stuff coming out of a 16-inch AK, the GF3 for those wondering. And we're at 15 yards. Let's see. As you saw, we had our impact down here, and we did have some backface deformation this time, but again, it stopped it just fine. You'd be unharmed. You may feel it a little bit. You might felt like you got punched, but you'd be good to go. Let's keep going. Next round up is going to be some Federal 5.56. This is M193 coming out of a 16-inch barrel here with the IWI gun, and we'll see how it does. 193 is not always the easiest round to stop because it is going relatively fast. Let's see. We had our impact right over here, and again, we did have some backface deformation, a little bit less than we had with the 7.62 by 3.9, which makes sense at this distance. Stopped it just fine. Good to go. Let's continue on. Next up here, we have some 123 grain, 300 blackout MagTech stuff from LAX Ammo coming out of my Daniel Defense Intergrease suppressed rifle. It has a 9-inch barrel for those wondering, and we'll see how the 30 cal pills do. So let's see. I put that one down here at the bottom. You can see we had a little bit of separation of the outer material there, but everything's still good. Little bit of back face deformation there on the back, still good. We're gonna step it up. The next one might kill it, we'll see. As I alluded to, this one may kill it. This is the M855 62 grain 5.56 round. The thing that makes it different though is it has that steel penetrator tip on there, just the green tip if you will. And one difference between level 4 or even level 3 plus, quote unquote, which isn't a technical NIJ standard, is that most of those will have some sort of hard front, whether it be steel, ceramic, whatever the case may be. And those things are designed to break that penetrator bullet up. This doesn't have it. Now, we'll see, it's not rated for it, and we'll see if it will go through. Again, 16-inch barrel, 15 yards is the distance. We'll find out real soon. Let's see. You guys are somewhat spoiled with that high speed, so you guys already know the answer and what happened. So unfortunately, we did have penetration. We had our impact right there. It was a clean spot, nothing damaged around it, and it came through. Interestingly, it is, of course, tearing apart at this point, which is good. That's a sign that it's slowing it down. If you had a clean hole coming through there, that would be a bad sign, meaning that it's really not doing anything to it. So it definitely broke the bullet apart. The bullet's fragmenting. So if you were wearing this and you took a shot of 8.55, yes, it would absolutely go into you. That said, it would be dramatically less damaging than it would be, of course, without it. But you wouldn't want it either. It's definitely still lethal and all of those sorts of things. But we're going to keep shooting it and see what kind of damage this plate can sustain that's not armor penetrating. Up next, guys, we have some 165 grain 40 Smith & Wesson Remington, and it's going to be coming out of my UMP submachine gun, and we'll try to keep it on target. We'll see what my skills are anyway. Let me bump that up because it is bright out here. There we go. I think all those stayed on target. You guys would know better than me from watching that slow-mo at this point, but it stopped everything. We had one of them stop right here on the bottom, kind of hanging out, and that is what it looks like there. Obviously, one of the benefits of a level 3 plate like this that's not steel and is a composite material like Dyneema or UHWMPE is that it's multi-hit rated. So basically the way this type of armor works, I should point that out before moving on, the way this type of armor works is that when a bullet hits it, basically a super quick reaction happens from the speed of the bullet and the heat generator from it. The material temporarily, I mean like microseconds, melts, and that melting grabs the bullet, and then immediately it goes back to a hard substance, and that's how it suspends it and stops it. So because of that, it's really, I mean, having a hit right here almost doesn't impact a hit right next to it at all because it returns right back to its original material. Unless you're actually shooting the exact same spot, it doesn't really matter. It's going to continue to perform really well. So obviously all of these hits on there, and no issues at all in terms of stopping. There's another piece of bullet fragment. We're going to keep going though. We're going to put a few more rounds of 7.62 in there, see if it can soak up several of these rounds. Let's see. As I'm sure the slow-mo has already showed you guys, we did have another pass through there. I tried to put them all right in the same spot, kind of just to hammer home on that point of that it can take a lot in the same area. I could have put them all around and we'd be here all day, but I wanted to kill it and end the test because got to move on, test some other stuff. So we put a whole bunch of rounds right there in that same spot. And you guys probably already saw we had 2 pass-throughs come through on the back and enter into the actual box in the back. Again, you guys probably saw it in the slow-mo. But anyway, it's proper dead now. That's the end of the plate. Now that the plate is absolutely dead, there's a few things I want to talk about before we close the video out. So number one is going to be that AP type of performance. Do you need it as the end user? So it really depends, and ultimately that's your call in terms of your comfort level with your armor system. That's always been the case. Armor versus weight, armor versus mobility. That's been the case since 2,000 years ago, you know, when ancient armor was being used, and even before that probably. So for me personally, again, I've talked about this in the past, but for new folks here, I have some back issues. Carrying around a 20-pound plate carrier is just something I don't want to do. And the pros and cons of the increased weight or decreased weight and mobility as opposed to the threat versus an 855 type of encounter. To me, I'm going level 3 all day. I've said this before in many different videos out there. I want that lightweight capability and the maneuverability and the lack of stress on my body. Again, you are giving up something though, and you are giving up that AP threat. In America, generally speaking, the only type of AP threat that you're commonly going to see out there is 855. You just don't see black tip 30-06 or 308 commonly used. And even with 855 being a relatively common round, the odds of ever encountering it out of a 16-inch barrel at, you know, these types of distances is so small that for me, my personal comfort level, I will take this all day long. However, I should point out these folks at Phalanx, they do offer stuff that stops that if that's what you're into. It just weighs more, right? So there's always a pro and a con there. But this also stops 308. I didn't bring it out today just for the sake of brevity. So just so you know that, it's going to stop your 308 ball rounds as well, just not the armor piercing ones. So the other thing we want to talk about here, of course, is going to be price point. So right now these are in stock and being distributed through Big Daddy Unlimited. And for folks that don't know, this isn't paid for by Big Daddy Unlimited or anything like that. They're just going to be going through Big Daddy Unlimited. They are sort of the quote unquote Costco of the gun world. You have a membership. The first month's 99 cents. After that, it's $9.99 a month. And you can purchase anything on there that's below manufacturer's advertised pricing. So the manufacturer's advertised pricing on this is $997. So at Big Daddy Unlimited, it will be less than that. I can't say what it is because you have to be a member to actually see the prices. But if you guys are members and you want to post in the comments section, feel free to do so. But it's not inexpensive. So if you look around, you can see other level 3 systems out there that are going to be similar, that are going to be less than this. That said, I don't know of any that are all made in America in terms of the armor and the carrier itself. I don't know of any price less than that currently. It may be out there. I'm not aware of it. So for folks who made in America and those sorts of things, and NIJ tested, I should point that out as well. So with those things, again, I know of nothing that is going to be cheaper than that. So in terms of value for this type of proposition, American made NIJ, it's pretty darn good in my opinion. But again, ultimately that's up to you guys as the end consumer as to what you want to spend your money on. Certainly performed up to everything it said it would do today, so that's really all I can ask of it. And that's really, I guess, all I have for you. We'll leave the video there. If you guys have any questions, you can post them down below in the comment section. You can also post them over at my Facebook page. That's the best place to reach me if you actually have questions. And if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button. Only about 30% of people that watch these videos are subscribed, so the vast majority of you are not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button so that way you can see more videos like this in the future. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.